Good morning. Today we are correcting CO32. I can compute percentages of whole numbers. So we're looking at those percentages and how we find them. Yesterday we did not finish on the bottom here, so we need to make sure that we did these correctly. 0.2% of 40 is 0.2 times 40, which is 8. 70% of 60 is 0.7 times 60, which is 42. And 90% of 80 is 0.9 times 80, which is 72. Let's look at our second page. More of the same. 0.5 times 30 is 15. 0.8 times 60 is 48. 0.4 times 70 is 28. As I was walking around, I noticed some of us not doing all of the work. The directions say show your work. So I should not have just an answer written down. I should have what math you did to answer it. When we were doing the note taking, as I was walking around, I noticed some of us not taking notes. Why is it important that we fill out our binder sheets with all of our notes? Callie?
So I know them for the test.
Yeah. So that you know it for the test. You might look at it today and say, oh, I totally understand it. We're taking this test after Christmas. Yeah. So I'm not making you take it next week, the 2 days before Christmas break. So that week after, just like the week after Thanksgiving, we had a review day. Then we had a practice test, and then we had the real test. We come back from Christmas break, and I say, oh, we're taking our test, and you're going to look back at the objective. If you hadn't taken notes, there's a strong chance you're not going to remember what we were doing. We take notes for a reason. It's not for my benefit. I know how to do this math. I've already had 6th grade. A long time ago. I know it. So I am not writing it. I am not writing it for fun. I am writing it for you to learn, for it to help you. It is your responsibility to fill out your binder sheets. Whatever I write on the board, you write on your binder sheet. Zelda.
You also need to make a help sheet for the practice test and real test.
Yes. All right, let's look at our word problems. If the bill is $60, what would the 20% tip be? So 20% of 60 is $12. Then we had Bobby, Billy, and Chevin. Bobby made 30% of 10 shots, which is 3. Billy made 70% of 20 shots, which is 14. Chevin made 20% of 80 shots, which is 16. So Bobby made the least, and Chevin made the most. Now we need to estimate by rounding our percentages to the nearest 10. So 21% becomes 0.2 times 30, which is 6. 38% becomes 0.40 of 80, which is 32. 52% becomes 0.50 times 50 is just 25. 0.60 of 120, which is 72. Claire? Claire, were you in class yesterday? Because we did this together. And I talked about it. Yeah. Because I talked about, we did this, the tip 1 together. Then I explained how to do the Bobby, Billy, and Chevin. And then I talked about the estimating. So sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves and start working on something that we know how to do and forget to keep paying attention to the teacher. So on the test, if you don't catch stuff like estimate, and then you get it wrong. So this is something that's going to tell us, hey, I need to pay attention. I need to make sure I'm reading it for meaning, and I need to make sure I'm listening to the teacher. Bryn.
On the question that says estimate using relative family.
Yep.
I 40% instead of 60. I don't know I got 40%. Second was 0.4 times 37.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that either, but that's just a good note to self. Hey, when it is time to take the test, I need to double check that I'm using the correct numbers. Zelda.
For the estimate the following value, so all you're doing with it is just taking away the zero on the numbers and then just multiplying.
Yeah, no, because you needed to know that 38% goes up to 40. So you need to be able to estimate, am I rounding up or am I rounding down? All right, let's look at the last ones. On a test worth 40 points, you earned 28. What was your percentage? So 28 divided by 40. So I think it was Marina was doing this in Khan Academy and we weren't sure what to do. This is the same setup. That part, 28 out of the whole. 28 divided by 40 equals 0.7, which is 70%. So it was worded differently in Khan Academy, but it's the same math. So you take the small part, that fraction bar means we're dividing by the whole number. So that's where it came in. I knew we had done it and I couldn't remember how. This is where it came from. So there's that in the Khan Academy assignments. If you need to find a percent, you take the small, divide it by the whole, and that gives you the percent. So your percent on the test was 70%. Then on the test worth 60 points, you earned 54. So 54 divided by 60 gives us 0.9. Your answer has to be as a percent. Okay. Any questions on this page? Claire? Okay. All right, if you're watching this at home, we hope you're well and we hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.